Hello guys, welcome back. As part of today's video, we are going to talk about Sitecore Horizon. I'm pretty sure some of you guys might have already know about Sitecore Horizon, and maybe some of you guys have already worked with Horizon for quite some time now. But this session is going to be a kind of introductory session for those who don't know anything about Sitecore, or they're hearing this term for the first time. So we'll just try to go over and give you an introduction where we'll try to cover some of the things like what is Horizon, and what different features we have here, and how we can install Horizon in your Sitecore instance, how it is different than experience narrator, and then we'll also try to have a small demo where we'll try to show different features which are shipped with this tool. So the first thing is, what is Horizon? So it's a next generation interface that brings the content editing experience right up to the date and offer marketers some great new features, right? So in short, basically it's a new platform, it's a new editing interface which your editors or your content authors can use, and then they can basically edit the content like the same way how they used to do it on experience editor or your content editor. But as compared to your experience editor and content editor, it is, it's quite fast. It also has some other features which are not present on content editor and experience editor. So we'll try to cover all those features which got introduced with this. And just one more thing to mention here: it's not something which is built by default with Sitecore. This is something which is a kind of add-on and which needs to be installed separately on top of your Sitecore instance. So this got introduced with Sitecore 9.3, so the base version should be 9.3, and then you can just install this Horizon on top of it. And now, as I mentioned before, we already have a Sitecore 10 version available for Horizon, so you can just give it a try. But for this video, I'm going to talk about Sitecore 9.3 version. So the first thing which we can see is in the installation. So, and you can just find a number of articles on available, and which will talk about how to install Horizon. So I'll just cover on a very high level. So I'm assuming like because you just need to go to your dev.sitecore.net, download Sitecore 9.3 Horizon version, or Sitecore 10, and then you are going to get this um, file, and then when you extract it, this is the content which you're going to get. And as in when you extract it, you'll see your one install.ps1 file and then one parameters.ps1 file. So if I open this parameters.ps1 file, there are several parameters which are involved here, which are like your instance name, your identity server instance name, pool name, your license path, and all that stuff. So basically you need to provide all these details, and then once you have these details populated as part of your parameters.ps1 file, then you just need to go to install.ps1 file, and then you should be all good. And I think it takes max 5 minutes to install it. And then once the installation is completed, then you can just go to your Sitecore instance, which is 9.3 as an base instance for you. And on the launchpad you can see the Horizon icon there. So if I go back to my Sitecore, because this is the instance which I'm using for this demo, and this is 9.3 instance, as you can see, and I have already installed Horizon on top of it. So you can see this Horizon toolbar. So it is again, again, just to reiterate, it's a editing platform, nothing beyond that. You can basically edit the content, you can add images, you can add content, you can add components to the page, plus there are several other things also which you can do, but there are some constraints also as compared to experience editor. So we'll talk about those constraints, but before that we will talk about the feature set, which is which basically made us available with this Horizon. So if you click on Horizon, so that's the first thing which you're going to get. Like you're on the launchpad, you have this Horizon icon. Just click on that, and once you click on that, it just open this site. And just for information, this is my Sitecore 9.3 site, which is again based on SXA, and it has multiple sites. So it has multiple sites. So let me just give you a view of how this really looks on content editor. So you can see here I have a sandbox and a site code. So this site code you can just ignore for now because this is a style guide. And if you expand this one, we have a travel sites as in tenant for us, and then we have different sites: club zone, shared, and travel city. So shared is a kind of you can consider it as a kind of baseline site for us, and then club zone and travel city is a site. But what what I'm seeing currently here is all which is coming from my club zone site. So you see here, like, we have different sites available here, but on the horizon I just see one site, because this is because of the fact that Sitecore 9.3 version was not smart enough to basically identify all the sites or have an option to basically manage different sites from your horizon. So it will basically take the very first site, so which in this case is club zone. So that's why we are seeing all the contents from club zone. Okay, so that's one thing which got fixed as part of Sitecore 10, right? So now we have an option, basically we can manage multiple sites from your horizon, and then if it is a multilingual site, so all those things also can be managed within horizon. Okay, so now you see here, so installation is all fine, page is loading, that's cool. Now if I expand my club zone page, and if I go to home, so you see I have all these different page items created, right? So all these are my page items, and if I go to my horizon, so you can still see all those page items here also, but there are several others items also inside my club zone, right? My data, presentation, and all those things. But the the way it works with Horizon 9.3 is it is going, it will basically enable us to update or edit the content for page items only, right? It will not basically allow us to edit anything which is not a page item. So again, that is something which got fixed with Sitecore 10 version of it. So anyways, we'll check that later. So yeah, you can see, right, we have different page items here. Now by default it points to the home page. So now in the home page, if you see, like, we have an image, we have an RTF content, and we have a link list here. So the way you used to do it on on experience editor, you can basically just go and drag and drop your components and all those things you can do. You can create a page, you can add your new pages, you can just do everything. Okay, now coming back to the feature side, which uh, which we got with the Horizon, is the first thing is autosave, right? In case of content editor and experience editor, if you see, like, normally whenever we may used to do any changes or any updates, we used to save always. But in case of Horizon, that's not at all required. You just need to update your content, and then rest everything is all taken care by Horizon. Now you see here like a circle checkbox here, right? So you just need to observe this one. Let me just add something here, test content, right? So I updated this one, and now you see, right? So this got saved. So which means we don't explicitly need to save anything. As and when we make some changes to our content, it automatically gets saved. And this is how normally other platforms also work, like WordPress. If I have to give an example, so in WordPress also, if you make some changes, you don't need to save it explicitly. You can definitely save it, but it also gets saved automatically for automatically. Okay, so that is one thing. You get your content auto saved. Now next thing is how to basically edit the content. So editing content is pretty straightforward, nothing rocket science there. You can just like how I edit content, you can add your content here, QA test content, anything. You can just give as many content you want to add, you just add it. And this is an RTF content, right? So the first challenge, I would say, with Horizon and when we are using RTF is that it is not exposing all the features of an RTF, right? It has a very limited feature set, right? You can basically bold it, italic, underline, and all those things you can do, but there are several other things which you cannot do. Like, you cannot basically add a link to an image. So those kind of things are there, which which are kind of not possible in this version of Horizon. But still, yeah, if you want to do basic operations with your RTF content, definitely you can do that. You can just add this, select something, bold it, and all those italic. You do whatever you want to do, you can just do that. Okay, now how about adding the content, right? So the way we used to add the content in Experience Editor, it is the process is it's quite same here as well, right? So here, if you have to add some contents, what we can do is um, we have a create page, add to page, right? So create page is something, if I want to create a page inside my Sitecore content tree, right? If I want to add to a page, which means my page is already there and I want to add something to this page, right? So let's say I'm into my QA test page. Okay, this is already there. Let me just go to about. I'm not sure if you have something here. Okay, so now you see I'm into about page, and this is my footer, this is my header, and this is my main top. Now if I have to specify something here, right? Maybe let me just add something to this page, right? So what I'll do is or maybe what I can do is I can just create a new content. So that would be it will be more easy for you to understand. So what I'll do is I'll just go to home, right, and let me just create a new page, create page. So by default we have two options here, page and redirect. So you know you just need to have your insert rules in place, insert options, and then it has to be a page item. Then you will see all your options here. So I just want to create a page item. You just click on page and just give your page a name here, right? So I'll just give it as name test. Just click on test and your page is now ready, right? So it is currently having a same presentation which we have for other pages. So it's because it is based on default SXA page template. Now here we see we have three different placeholders. We have header, we have main, and then we have footer. Now if I want to add something here, like on the main placeholder, what I can do is we have add to page here, right? So if you click on add to page, right, you will find all different components what are available inside your list, right? So whatever component currently you are seeing, because I have not created anything specifically, any custom branding or anything like that. But in case, if in your case, if you have something custom created here, you can you can select those components also, and you can just drag and drop, like normally how we used to do it in your experience editor and your content editor. So in this case, I'm just going to take a very simple use case and try to add plain HTML or rich rich text. So you can just drag and drop here, right? So let me just drag and drop RTF here. Now this is an SXA component. So if I click on this one, it is basically asking me to add the content item path, so that it takes the data source, and I already also have an option to remove the rendering here, right? So all those things are always possible. Now if I click on browse, right, so it is actually taking me to the text data, because this is actually looking related to that content item which I just created. And in my case, if I go back to content editor and just try to refresh it, let me just refresh and I expand the home, you see we have the test item created, but relative to this test I don't have any data items created which can act as a data source for my new component or rendering which I've added there. So what I can do here is I can just add the same data source which I have for my other page items. So this is the page item I have for my home data item. So what I'll do is I'll just copy it, copy to, I'll just move it to test, so that I have something for my test item as well. So I'll just copy it here. But yeah, in your case also, if you have some data items created here, you can add those data items and then add a reference to it via Horizon. So now we have this some data source created, some of our image type, some out of the text type. So what I'll do is now is I'll just click on this text here, click on browse, and now you see we have the data, and then inside data we have this text item as well, because I just copied it from some other data source. So what I can do is I can just click on text and then click on assign. Once I assign it, you see, right, that this is the same text which I actually added for my home page. So that's why you see, right, the same text got added here as well. Similarly, and now if I'm not sure if you observed or not, you see like the way the time it actually took to create this page and configure this rendering to this page. It is very very fast as compared to the way we used to do it with experience editor. So it is really comparatively it is very fast compared to your experience editor or your content editor. So that's the number one reason to basically go for Horizon. It's relatively fast and you can save you a lot of time. Now, so you have all these things added here, right? And then you can just publish it and your item gets published, and and that's you can do. So now yeah, before that I just want to show you tell you one more thing. So in Horizon, basically we have three different views, right? So one view is, you can think of it like a content view, where you can actually see all your content items there. Basically for version 9.3 you will see only page items there, but for version 10 you get to see the data items as well, which doesn't have a presentation on it. So yeah, so this is the first column. You can call it as a tree view for you of your contents. Then the second section we have here is the second column is the actual content view, is the actual placeholder where you are going to push your content there. So that's the second column we have as part of our Horizon dashboard. And then the third column we have here is kind of information view, right? So in the information view, basically we see information like the item ID, currently which item we are dealing with, if this item is into any workflow or not, if this has, what is the path of this item, who actually created this, when it was created, what is the template path, and all that stuff. In addition to that, it also has information. Let's say if your current item is based on a specific workflow, so that workflow information also you can see as part of this information section. Then you also have this RTF, because this is an RTF content, so you can just add it, or whatever you want to do, you can just do that. So I can just publish it right from here, and then this gets published, right? So it is publishing, and now you can see that the page has been now published. Okay, makes sense. Now the next thing is coming back to other features of Horizon, right? So here we have um, this little icon. You can see it's basically device view, wherein like you can actually see your page items on different breakpoints. So the default one is your desktop, and then if you switch back to the mobile view or tablet, in this case the tablet, you just need to click on this tablet view, and you get to see your contents on the tablet, right? So you don't have to basically use any kind of services to basically, because in case if you see some issues with your different breakpoints, you can immediately coordinate with your QA or your front end team and get those issues fixed. So it is very fast for you also to basically fix the issues and reduce some kind of back and forth between different teams. And then you can rotate it also, it's if you want. And then you also have a different phone view, right? So if you click on this one, you get to see different phone view. So in this case, I don't have anything added for my header and for my content, so that's why it is just showing the plain placeholder. But yeah, on my main body I have something added, so you can see all these things now. So this is an interesting feature of it, like you just make your changes and immediately you can verify all those changes in different breakpoints immediately at the same time, right? You don't have to basically wait for something. Okay, so let's just switch back to the desktop view now. Coming back to other features, right? So this is the page editor view, right? So currently by default we actually enters into the page editor view whenever we land to Horizon. So that's the page editor view which gets loaded, and we make all our updates. Now the next view is the insights view, right? So basically this insight view is very specific to your page item, right? Currently we are dealing with the test page, so basically this page insights tells everything about your current page, which means this is the test page in this case. So it tells, it gives you the inside information about, how your page is performing, how many visits it made, what is the value per visit, and then the conversion time on page by date, if it has any performance improvements suggestions for you, those things what will it will show. If if people are coming and going back frequently, then you get to see your bounce rate information as well here. So it is very handy for you, for your content authors or your marketers, to basically see specific information for your content author. Anyways, you can see this information as an aggregate when you go to experience editor also. But yeah, this is something which is specific to a page, and accordingly you can make changes to your content item, to your to your experience, and things like that. So it is very handy for you as an content editor or your marketer, right? So yeah, so this is another thing. Now the next thing is, let me just close this one, and then let me go back to the editor mode. So now we just viewed the different devices, how basically our content looks on different devices, and we also verified how the autosave feature really work here. So let me just remove this thing, and you just observe this section here. It got it is autosaved now. We also checked how the insights looks, and what kind of details we can see here. So because I just created this page here, so we don't have enough information. But if I go back to my previous page, my home page, and if I go to the insight section, so you can see what different details we can see. Like we can see visit per day, value per visit, conversion time on page by date, and then if it has any improvement, and then bounce rate and all those things. So you can see that the average time that a visitor spend on this page is low 6 seconds. So if you have some, it also shows some kind of suggestions for you, which you can basically do. So yeah, so this is again another thing which you can try. Let's go back to the page editor view and go to other feature of it. Okay, so the next feature which we have here is a simulator mode, right? So simulator mode basically tells basically it shows you how your content looks on a different different date, or when actually it got published and things like that. So let's say on 1st of October your content was having a specific presentation, or it was what your page has a different presentation, and now on October 30 or 31st you have made some changes and you have published it, right? So if you want to compare it, how, or basically even if you want to check how your page will look on at after 2 weeks of time, so all those things basically you can see as part of your simulator mode. So just to enter the simulator mode, you basically need to click on this simulator here. Just click on the simulator, and then you see, right, currently what we are seeing here is Club Zone Beach Resorts 2. And then if you want to see how it was before, so maybe what we can do is we can just go back, and because wherever it has some changes, it will show in the form of dots. So let me just see, because I haven't see, you can see here like we have two dots on May 20th. So if I click on this one, right, so you can see here, right, it is just showing Club Zone and Beach Resort. There is no 2 1 or something. If I click on this one, it is just showing beach resorts, right? If I click on this one, it is just showing beach resorts. But maybe, yeah, so I think there is some change. I'm not sure what was the change, but there is some change, because I think it was published at point of time. But now this was the last change, which was made on May 4th 12/19, and this was the title, Club Zone Beach Resorts. But now if I go back to my current date and see how it looks now, so it's pretty easy for me. I can just go to today's date, and then you see it shows beach resorts too. So this is also important for your marketers to see how your page was looking before at some point of time, and how it will look. Because let's say if you have some kind of um, uh, some kind of rules you have added that on so and so date your page should get published, and then this is the content it should show. So all those things you can see here. So just one thing which I want to mention here is, I'm not sure that the simulation mode will show you you know based, let's say if you have applied some kind of personalization to your page and now you are trying to check it based on simulator, so whether simulator will take into account all those personalization rules also, or it just shows without personalization. So that is something which I'm not sure, but maybe we can check that as well later. Yeah, so this is one thing. Another important thing is we also have an option to undo and redo our changes, right? So normally when we have to remove something on experience data, we have, let's say we have to go back to a previous stage. What we used to do, we used to go to experience editor or content editor, and we used to remove all those components manually, right? So in this case, if you see, like what we have done is we have added this content here, right? And now if I feel that this content is not right, so I just want to remove this content. So in case of experience editor, you have to go to click on experience editor, remove this rendering, click on the cancel, delete, or whatever you want to do. In case of content editor, you have to go to the presentation, remove the rendering, or maybe if you want to change the content also of it's not about rendering, it's also about the content of the rendering. So if you want to change the content also of your rendering, then also you have to go to that specific item, and then you have to remove the content, or revert your changes. But with Horizon, what you can do is you have this undo and redo options available handy. So if I want to go back to my previous stage, so what I can do is I can just click on this undo here, right? So let me just click on undo. Right now you see, like, I have this some kind of text which I added. After that I'm doing one more undo, right? Now you see that content got removed, right? So that's how we can make use of undo and redo operation. So next to that we have a redo operation. So if I click on this redo, I'm going to get my content back. So this is so much handy, and you don't have to basically spend too much time going to your experience editor or content editor and remove or edit things for you. It is very very easy and very handy to manage in Horizon. Okay. Now another thing which I just want to show you, I just want to show you how this workflow states really works, because that's another thing which we have here. So what I'm going to show you is, as of now I don't have any workflow set for my items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my project and then sandbox. That's the base template I'm going to take my page. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my workflow, right? So I don't have any workflow for this base template, so let me just set a default base template, sample workflow. Let me just define the state for it. Let me just define it to be a draft, and the default workflow is sample workflow. Let me just save it. And now what I want to do is, let me just go here, let me create one more item again of base type, and let me just give it name test1. Right, so now you see anyways I'm not going to add anything here, but you see here the default state is workflow state is draft, because now this item is part of your workflow. So it is actually showing you that what is the current workflow. And now if you want to submit this in to the next level, you can basically submit it, add your comment, submit it, and now it's into a different state called awaiting approval. You add your comment and then click on approve, and now it is approved, and now it is ready for publish. You just click on publish and you're all good. So now once it is published, then you will see the final state of it in the information section. The page has been published, and if I go back here, now the workflow state, you see it is now approved, right? So that's how also you can make use of workflow if it is available. And yeah, another thing is it will basically show you only page items, right? And nothing beyond that. You cannot edit your data items, right? Your shared kind of items, so it has to be a page item. So yeah, this is what I just wanted to show you guys, so that you have you know at least basic information about Horizon, what we can do with that, and what are the different features that are available with it. So we talked about device selection. You can make your changes, verify it on the different devices available. You make use of insights view and get to know how your pages are doing individually on the page level. You make use of simulation to verify how your page looks on different point of time, right? So that you can make use of. You You can also auto save your changes, like we have this auto save features, so it's it's quite handy. And then we also have this undo and redo operation where you can revert back to previous state based on to whichever level you want to go. And then finally we also have this workflow state in place. So if you have any item on a specific workflow, you can basically pass it to a different workflow state. You can approve it, reject it, and then you can finally see which approved workflow state it is present, and then you just publish your changes there. And it is from the content tree view, basically we saw how to create new pages and how to add component to those pages, right? So this is one thing. And then I just want to talk 1 minute about how this Horizon is different than Experience Editor. So in Experience Editor, we have several different options. We can have different version of it. We can specify in Experience Editor mode or in Content Editor mode. What we can do, we can add a profile card to your page, and then we can set we can basically configure A/B testing for your components. But those kind of things are not possible with Horizon. So it's basically, I wouldn't say that this is a kind of a drawback for this one, but this is something, it's because 9.3 was the initial version, so I think it's a good opportunity for us to just try it. And maybe at some point of time Sitecore eventually making good progress on making it, they're making changes to for with every version. So now we have Sitecore 10 version also, and there are several features which they have introduced to Sitecore 10. I'll just show you in a minute. So yeah, there are things like we cannot set profile card, we cannot test our components, A/B testing, and all those kind of things we cannot do. But there are other things also which you cannot do in our Experience Editor, but you can do on Horizon. Like you cannot do undo, redo. You cannot you cannot basically view it on different device thing. You cannot have a view of how your pages are doing. Like how we have an inside view here, you don't have a simulator kind of feature available there. So it's a kind of win-win situation. And it also depends how much comfortable you are with the Experience Editor or with your Content Editor, so with your Horizon. So that ultimately you have to take a call. But I would say I would recommend definitely give it a try to Horizon and see how it looks. And I think Sitecore will definitely make more updates, and it will make it more user friendly and try to be in the level of Experience Editor. And then I think eventually maybe they will get rid of Experience Editor at some point of time when this is kind of fully production ready. So on the Sitecore version 10 for this Horizon, I just want to talk about the changes which they have brought in. So you can now edit content that is not a page in Horizon. As I just mentioned, like in the version of 9.3, you can only edit content which are of page type. You cannot edit anything there, because that's why we have this page items here now. Uh, but now you have an option to basically configure non-page items also, and then the content tree list all the sites in the current site. So now it will basically list down all the sites what we have, so it is not restricted to one site like how we have in Sitecore 9.3. It just shows only one site, but with Sitecore 10 it just shows all the sites. They have support for several other fields which was not there with Sitecore 9.3. You can now edit the fields from page item, dedicated field item in Horizon. The functionality is also designed to help you manage the metadata of the page. So there are several other features which they have brought in. They have fixed several issues with that. So I think it's a worth thing to try, and I think this will be a future at some point of time. So this is what, guys, I just wanted to show you, and I hope you liked it, and at least it gives you a kind of starting point for you to take this Horizon learning further. And guys, thanks for your time. It was great, and see you next time. Take care.